this is good. This is a good example. Everybody look at this and learn how to do this. This is good. It's better than a lot of things that are out there. There we go. Ooh. Holy shit! Juice and rum. Can't be that bad, can it? Oh, that's a lot of rum. What's up, unicorns? How are you doing? I already did an intro, but it was a shit intro, so okay, let me sketch the timeline. I've now read one fanfic. I'm planning to read a second, but I was like, I need to redo my intro because as I recall the intro that I did, it was kind of shit. So hi, hello, reading fanfiction. It's been a while. Yes, I've already read one, so I have rum and juice, and it's nice, and I'm a little bit tipped. Drink responsibly. I want to especially say hello to the new people because a lot of new people came onto the channel after last week's video about Check Howard. I know that was a bit more serious, which is not entirely in line with what I normally do here, even though my channel is a bit all over the place. But hello to you, welcome, thank you for being part of the Uniherd. If you're seeing this, I hope this is also a little bit your thing. If it's not to worry, we do a lot of different things on this channel. I really appreciate your feedback, and if there's other things that you would like to see, let me know. Yep, but since this part is gonna go before I read the first fanfic, enjoy, and I'm gonna read a second one now. This is probably gonna be a long video. Without further ado, here is slightly less drunk me starting out the first fanfic, and then we're gonna gradually progress to this point and beyond. So I'm just gonna look through the titles of the chapters and hope we hit on something. You know what, why don't we just start with the first one? It's just titled Smut Number 1. Ugh. I loudly groaned in anger as I entered the flat. I heard yelling and laughing upstairs and realized the boys must be filming. I walked into the kitchen and began to cook some dinner. After putting the chicken in the pan, I put my headphones in and blasted my calming playlist on my phone. I'm gonna try to read more things before I flip out over something, so watch me struggle. Halfway through the dishes, I was shaking my hips to some MCR and I felt two stronger arms wrap around my waist and a chin rest on my shoulder. A loud shriek leaves my mouth and I drop the dish I was holding. What is it with Dan sneaking up on his partners or girlfriends or whatever in almost every single fanfic I read? There was one where he snuck up on us in the shower or something. It's a thing. Hey, calm down, it's just me. I hear Dan giggle as he takes my headphones out. Holy shit, you scared me, I breathe. I'm sorry, he apologizes. It's okay, I sigh and continue what I'm doing. His big hands reach up to my shoulder blades and he begins giving me a massage. Hey, where's my phone just buzzed? Hold on, let me... Put the phone on silent now. It's making too much noise somehow. So Dan's giving us a massage. A low groan leaves my lips at the sudden vanish of the tension in my upper back. His hands then find their way around my waist once again and his lips find my neck, kissing it. Dan, what are you doing? I ask. Dan answers by sucking gently on my sweet spot. That's also a thing. Sweet spot is that a thing? Do I have to go look this up in Urban Dictionary? It's not as cringe as saying length instead of dick or something, but sweet spot. Ugh. I kick his calf lightly to signal I wasn't in the mood. I wonder if this is gonna be finally the fanfic where he's gonna respect that. I've been thinking about you all day, he mumbled seductively on my skin. I shook it off. I was going through our old texts and found some naughty things he'd sent me. He trailed off, his hands trailing down to grip my outer thigh. I kicked him, and he just keeps on going. That's just, He nibbled my earlobe, but I still wouldn't give in to his attempts, despite the wetness in my underwear and how much I wanted him. Did he stop? No, he just tried harder. I am so fucking done with reading fanfics where Dan Howell, of all people, is a weird boundary-crossing, coercive douchebag. Why? Woo! What the fuck? There's a bug in my room. So we just try harder. With one hand, he pulled me back farther into him, and with the other popped a button on my jeans. Excuse you! His middle finger lightly trailed across my area, and then just trailed around it, teasing me with his lips on my sweet spot. Wait, is his hand in your jeans? And why do you call it my area? It's a vagina, a vulva, it has labia, and a clitoris. I mean, you can't, How often have I ranted about this? What is it gonna take for you to call things what they are? My area. How am I supposed to understand what that means? Why would you... Anyway, so his middle finger is lightly trailing across our area. It took everything I had in me not to let out a moan. Do you like that? He whispered in my ear. I ignored him and leaned forward a bit, unnoticeably sticking my ass out and turning the faucet off. Okay. Anyway, eventually he'd had enough of me ignoring his actions, so he lifted me up and sat me on the counter. He forcefully opened my legs up and stood between my thighs. I couldn't take it anymore. I crashed my lips onto his. I wanted him so badly. One hand tangling into his hair and the other gripping the back of his neck. Please, if you write this sort of stuff, just please put a disclaimer on it. Please put a disclaimer on it. This just makes it seem like it's okay that your boyfriend's forcing you, and that I've said this before. No, I knew you couldn't hold back, he said between kisses. His large hands lifted my shirt so they could rest on my bare waist. You're so fucking beautiful, he groaned as he began grinding slightly into my inner thigh. I let out a low moan. My hips bucked forward so our crotches fully met, giving the both of us the friction we needed. Hey God, oh my God! A frightened Phil screamed, covering his face at the sight. Oh shit! Dad yelled and pulled away. I jumped off the counter and buttoned my jeans. I'm so sorry, he quickly said before backing out of the kitchen. No, Phil, we're sorry, I yelled, but he was already halfway to his room. Okay, I mean, nice. After an awkward moment, sorry. After an awkward moment, Dan basically pulled me into his room and forced me against the door as soon as it was closed and locked. Before I could say anything, his lips were on mine in a hard, passionate kiss. I need you right now, he mumbled against my lips. Dan slipped his long fingers into the waistband of my underwear and slid them down my legs. Dan took off his shirt and pants and was left in his Calvin Kleins. They looked uncomfortable with a large bulge in the center of them. He walked towards me and gave me a loving and lustful kiss. I reached my hands up and began to palm his length through his boxes. I knew it. Length. Why? He moaned against my lips. I then slid them down his leg. What? He moaned against my lips. I then slid them down his legs so they pulled at his ankles. Your lips? Yeah, okay, the boxes. If you wanted to refer to the boxes, you shouldn't have said them. His large length slapped against his abdomen and I took it in my hand. My lips wrapped around it and I began to bob my head without him asking. I'm close, he moaned. So I pulled off him and laid back. Are you sure you want this? He asked. Now you ask? Listen, PSA, consent is not a thing that only goes for, hey, can I put my dick actually in your vagina? It goes for everything. Anyhow, are you sure you want this? I give him a deep kiss as a yes. He propped himself on his forearms on either side of my head and aligned himself at my entrance and pushed in. Entrance again with the, whew. The feeling hurt a bit, but once I adjusted to his size, the pleasure was amazing. Oh, talking about stereotypical. Oh, baby, you're so tight, he growled. Faster, please, I whimper. He does as told, and the only sound in the room are our mixed moans and skin on skin. With one of his hands, he reached down and toyed with my area. Rubbing circles into it and giving me more pleasure. He took one of my legs into his hand and put it over his shoulder to get deeper. I mean, that's actually not a bad tip. Soon enough, he hits my spot. I scream out in pleasure. Okay, what spot? And what part of your area is he touching and circling into? Or what was it? Yeah. He's rubbing circles into your area. Whatever the fuck that means. Use your words. Just fucking Jesus criminy. Right there. I moan after Dan hits that spot a couple more times and I feel the knot building in my stomach. Baby, I'm close, he grunted. Like, again? You already came super fast from a blowjob. Dan's thrusts became sloppy and his hand reached down and rubbed my area again. Quickly after that, we both hit our highs. He fully stopped and pulled out. I love you, Amelia, Dan breathed, leaning down and giving me one final kiss. I love you too, Dan. I smiled after the kiss. That was that. Okay, listen. Writing quality wise, as in grammar, spelling, a lot less bad as some others I've read so far. So props for that. But it's equally rapey. I gotta say that the descriptions of the sex in this are a little bit more elaborate and a little bit more logical. I mean, apart from the really weird, creepy lack of consent, but than other fan fictions, but still, you're still using super cringy words like length instead of cock or dick or just penis or whatever. Like, length, why? And this whole my area bullshit, like, seriously, female sexuality is already like super suppressed if you're also gonna just use my area and not really write about handiwork and tongue work and clitoris and how all that shit works. You're just perpetuating this thing where people don't really know how to work a vagina. So you know what? We're just gonna look at a later one and see if that's better. Ooh, smut number 16, too rough? Question mark? This is right up my alley. So, I relate to that. I like it rough sometimes. So, you know what? Just to get over the lack of consent issue, I'm gonna assume that this is intended to be a bit of rough handling. So I'm not gonna really fall over the lack of consent. Let's leave that for what it is, okay? Let's just... Dan moved us back until my knees bent and we fell onto the bed. Him on top of me. Wow, right into the action. We both laughed but began kissing again shortly after. My fingers roamed through his dark brown hair, down the sides of his head, until one, the left, rested on his jaw. What? What? This makes no sense. What you're saying now is that one side of his head is resting on his jaw and the other side of his head is resting on his cheek. And I'm sure that you mean your hands or your fingers. But whoa. His lips are soft and this kiss tastes good. His breath is minty and his touch gentle. I was wearing a onesie and his hands rested on my clothed waist. Don't know why is it so funny, but I'm getting the weirdest mental picture. We were alone at my house for the night. It had started off as a simple and calm movie date, but things all of a sudden got heated and he had led me upstairs into my room. I like the fact that there's no lengthy description of the movie date, night, whatnot. I'd probably be like, I don't care. Get into the action already. And that's exactly what this does. So thank you. I love you so much. Dan mumbled against my lips. I smiled into our next kiss. I love me too. I teased. This is exactly what I'd say. Biting his lower lip lightly, he moaned at my action, his fingers digging into my upper thighs. May I? He asks. Taking the front zipper of my onesie between the tips of his thumb and pointer finger. Yes! I nodded and bit my own lip in anticipation. The zipper came down at a slow pace. A smirk covered his face. With the smirking... A smirk covered his face when he saw I wasn't wearing a bra. I don't agree with the choice of word as in smirking, but I've ranted plenty about that already in previous videos. When the zipper finally got down far enough, my purple-laced underwear became noticeable. Dan's lips attached to the valley between my breasts. Nice! He left a trail of wide open-mouthed kisses until he reached just above the elastic band of my panties. I let out a small whimper when he kissed my clothed core and pulled away. I mean, core is better than area, I guess. Can I snort this rum to get my nose open? I don't know. He lifted himself till I could feel his breath on my right ear. I want you to show me how you please yourself when I'm not around. Ooh! I blushed at his request. It's not the same as when you do it, I pout. He smirked and kissed me, taking my hands in his, resting my right one on my breast and the other one still on my still-clothed pussy. You said pussy! Yes! I am so happy. You don't understand how excited I am about this. I think this is the first fanfiction I've read ever where someone actually gave a name to a vagina that was like kind of dirty-ish and kind of calling it what it is and not just kind of a weird, cringy euphemism. Thank you so much. I love it. It's amazing. And also the thing that he's like, okay, you know what? Show me how you do this thing for yourself. And it's just, I mean, this is already so much better than the first one. Wow. Just pretend it's me then, he whispered finally before moving to the side to watch me. My face flushed a bright pink and I pulled my legs out of the onesie and switched the positions of my hands. My right one now slowly reaching into my panties and my left massaging my breasts. I let out a low moan, closing my eyes as I dipped my middle finger inside of me before moving it up and down between my folds. I love it. I let another one, it says, I let another one slip and I bit slip in probably, and I bit my lip, the tip of my tongue sticking out slightly. My fingers moved to my clit and I rubbed it in circles. Yay! I bucked my hips up and arched my back. Dan reached over and pulled my panties down my legs, throwing them behind me. When I peeked my eyes open, I saw his erection through his light grey sweats. He hardly touched himself as he watched me in awe. Oh, I have nothing against this. This is better. This is much better. This is one of the best ones I've read so far. Fuck, Dan, I breathed, sticking my middle finger into my entrance. I mean, it's the entrance. But, you know, in the large scheme of things, sure, fine. I'm like, you know, I have no issue with that in this context. I pumped it in and out slowly, feeling all of myself before adding my pointer finger. Oh my god, I gasped. Yes, baby. He finally broke and slowly stroked his dick through the restraining fabric of his sweats and boxers. I smiled at this and pumped my fingers faster, hitting my G-spot. The familiar twisting feeling grew stronger with every thrust of my fingers. My wrist began to cramp a little, so I sped up even more. My back arced off the bed and my body began to shake. With one last loud moan, my orgasm hit me. I removed my wet fingers and rubbed my clit slowly, trying to come down. With every circle, my body shook. Dan removed my hand and popped my fingers into his mouth. Wow, sucking all of the juice. Nice. Thank you. I'm ecstatic. I'm proud. I am so proud. I am proud of what you've learned. I am proud that this is so much better than the average smutty fanfic. I'm proud. Pride is what I feel. I leaned down and kissed his lips, cheek, jaw, and finally made it down to his neck. His Adam's apple was his weak spot, the spot that could send him over the edge at the right time. I sucked and nipped at the flesh just above it, making Dan a moaning mess. Once I had left a light purple mark, I began to trail kisses until I was on my knees between his legs. See? This is the good way to describe the sweet spot on people's neck. Don't just say sweet spot, because this is the way to do it. This is good. This is a good example. Everybody look at this and learn how to do this. This is good. It's better than a lot of things that are out there. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop reading this because otherwise this video is gonna be like an hour long. But this goes on for a while and it's actually pretty good. I never thought I'd say this about fanfiction, but it's actually pretty good. It's amazing. You know, and of course there's always room for improvement, but compared to what most, especially YouTuber fanfiction is, this is really good. You know, I'm gonna turn this camera off and I'm gonna continue reading this because this is way better. Like, I'm actually really thrilled that this happened. I'm really thrilled that I have this in one video, like a cringy example. Okay, the grammar and everything was better than most fanfics, but you know, a cringy bad example of what smutty fanfics are supposed to be. And this is actually a really good one by the same writer much later. So this is a really good indication of how people can learn and grow in their writing. I mean, well done. Just well done. This is good. The wording is much better. The pacing is good. It's not like weird, sketchy. It's not cringy at all. It's not chunky like a lot of sex scenes are written. It has a good flow. It has a good build up. The descriptions of certain actions are like really nicely done. It's just, I love it. I love it so much. I am so happy. I know that I set out on this video hoping for once to get a good sexual fanfic, and I really didn't think that it would happen, but here it is, and I swear to God, I did not look at these before. I did not pick these out beforehand. It's this sheer coincidence. I am so fucking happy. I am so fucking thrilled. Oh my God, I am so happy that you got to actually experience me reading a good fanfic and not just continuously ranting about how bad everything is, but also gushing about how good it is. It's amazing. I could cry. I'm barely halfway through this one shot, so I really recommend that you go check it out. I'll leave a link to specifically this chapter, I think, in the description below. If I happen to leave just a link to the book, it's chapter 16 titled Too Rough, or smut number 16 titled Too Rough, so then you know which one to look for. But really read this, and if anyone out there writes fanfiction and you've had like criticisms, or you feel like, oh shit, like my fanfics are super cringy like that and how the hell do I improve, go read this as an example, as a thing to learn from, because it was actually pretty good. Before I fully end this, I want to say I did a poll on Twitter because I had the idea to maybe stream sometime, and during that stream to write fanfiction the way that it's supposed to be written, and then maybe if some of you are there, I can take suggestions to write fanfics about, or take requests or something, and then we can live write some stuff, which would maybe be funny. Or maybe I could rewrite cringy fanfics and just rewrite certain scenes to make it better, and to just sort of exemplify like, okay, this is a better way to do it, maybe. I did a poll to see if any of you would like that, and most people were like, yeah, it could be funny, or like, yes, please bring the smut. So that's the thing that I want to do in the future. So if you're not subscribed yet, there's going to be a button on the end of this, and also there's always a button somewhere underneath this video where you can subscribe and stay tuned for when that happens. You can also follow me on Twitter at Ames_Jane, where I'll probably announce that when that happens, but I hope that I can do it pretty soon. So I'm just gonna need to have a look at my planning and my agenda to see when this sort of thing would maybe fit in, but expect that to happen in the near future. I think it would be really fun to just hang out and just do that and have a laugh. I hope you enjoyed this. I know a lot of you enjoy the excessive rants at everything that goes wrong in fanfiction writing, but I hope that you also this time around enjoyed everything that went right. So go check that out. All links are in the description. If you want to watch other stuff, there is some more fanfiction reading videos over here if you haven't seen any of those yet, and there's some other stuff underneath that. If you want to subscribe again, there's a button somewhere over here. And I love you. Stay magical. Goodbye.